He is not dead. All right.
Just a heads up before we get started.
We're live. No heads up. We're live. We're on right now.
So yeah, I just got the notification on my phone. Stolen Droids is.
Hey guys. This is Stolen Droids podcast. Obviously, as everyone who may have just caught the first 2 seconds of our show here can tell, we are so pro at going live. That was awesome. Totally smooth.
Preparation.
I'm Jake Boyle tonight, which sounds weird.
I'm Marlee Rosa.
Rosa.
I'm just Zohner.
And I'm Zach Peralta, hard-boiled New York detective. Sometimes I think, how far down this job do I need to go before I lose myself?
And tonight we are talking about our favorite police precinct 99.
Now, before we get into this, I want to just say something regarding last week's show.
Oh no.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to commend both Marlee and Zach for how amazing that they did.
We just listened. It was
really.
It was good listeners.
But it was a difficult topic. It was a difficult situation, that you potentially were putting yourselves into. And you guys were awesome. I really just want to say you guys were awesome. And thank you to our guests who joined us or who joined you guys.
I think really Jay, Stefan, and Melinda, they just made that show incredible. And hearing their stories and their experiences and having that conversation, it was just really humbling to listen to.
Oh, extremely.
And, Zach, you mentioned a couple of times how angry you felt. And I'm
feeling it boil up just thinking about some of the things that we talked about right now.
Yeah. So we want to thank them so much for being on the show last week.
Exactly. If you haven't heard it, please go listen.
Like Jay mentioned on the show, it's not their responsibility to teach white people about racism. We need to go figure it out for ourselves and study it and learn it and confront it and deal with it on our own. But we still appreciate them taking the time to share their experiences with us. And it was awesome. So
we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You got, I could not have been more proud.
So
thanks, Dad.
But
thanks.
You are totally in character, calling him Dad and everything.
I didn't call him Dad. He's not Dad. That's cool.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Cool. It's fine.
I do want to point out.
No doubt.
So
no doubt.
Cool. So Zach came on as Zach Peralta, and I realized I really missed an opportunity. But then I thought,
because your name is Jake.
Because I am actually Jake. But then I thought about it, and I thought being Jake Boyle is some kind of weird fantasy, exciting thing for Boyle. Charles Boyle would be I don't think he could contain himself with a Jake Boyle up on the screen. That would be
he'd be very
come true.
So
dream come true.
Yes, we're talking about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. 75% of us absolutely adore the show. 25% of us are just uneducated.
And that's why we're here
on that show, or just in general. I just want to make.
I plead ignorance.
In general. No, it's way more than 25% that's uneducated. Are you kidding me?
That's very true.
We're podcasters.
But I don't like cop shows. I don't like procedural shows in generro. And so, but I always loved Andy Samberg. He was just one of my favorite cast members on SNL. Hot Rod, that's definitely a my generation movie. So me and Marlee get it. Jake, have you ever seen it?
I have. I like Hot Rod quite a bit. It's one of those movies that you sit down and you watch, and you just have to know from the beginning this is going to be so incredibly stupid. Yeah. And you just have to let go of any common sense that you have, and then it becomes incredibly hilarious and just really entertaining.
The more every time you watch it, it gets funnier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's a great show. And Andy Samberg is an incredible talent. Yes. I think the years that he was on Saturday Night Live, he was probably one of the top talents on the show. Some of the stuff that he did, especially with Justin Timberlake. And this is a family show, so we're not going to get into a lot of what he did with Justin Timberlake.
What do you mean? What are you talking
I don't know.
about?
Something in a box. Anyway, but
I was actually thinking about that earlier.
Got a hole in the box.
What were you thinking about earlier, Zohner? Zohner
No,
was thinking about that earlier.
Just whether or not we should be bringing up what goes in the box.
But I agree. Andy Samberg. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Zach.
but I was bummed when he left SNL, but I was so excited to see what he was going to do. And then I was like, you're doing a cop show?
Mm-hmm.
I was super bummed. And then the pilot hooked me.
Oh yeah.
There is just something, a lot of sitcoms when you watch them, I warn people, one of my favorites is Parks and Recreation. And I always warn people, you've got to get through the first couple of seasons. Once Mark Brandanowitz is gone, like the show just kind of takes off, and they kind of figure out who their characters are, and the cast kind of builds a chemistry over time. Brooklyn Nine-Nine breaks that mold because most sitcoms, they take a season or two to really get going. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the cast just clicks right away.
So
like you said, that pilot episode is a really good episode, and the characters are who they are from the beginning. Like they grow and they develop, but they are who they are from the very beginning, and the show just works right away.
Another thing that I think is common with sitcoms is they have a lull. The Office obviously had that.
What, for like the last 4 seasons?
Yeah. It was a long lull. It was a long lull.
Right.
I have every season, every episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine I've enjoyed. I do not feel like it's missing a beat at all.
Well, and they keep you like excited too, because like each Halloween, like it's a year has passed when you get to the Halloween episode.
Yes.
I don't know how much of like spoilers can we really give here, but like I'll just say like it's what they call it is the Halloween heist. I don't want to like give anything more away other than like what it is, like that it's a heist. But like those ones, they're just like, they just get you so pumped again for the show. Not that there's like a lull, but it's just kind of like a Halloween heist. Yes, we're back again. Like, what are they going to do this time? You know, like what shenanigans, how are they going to top last year? You know what I mean?
And then they did it with that one thing, and it's so good.
Oh yeah, it's always exciting.
With the cummerbund.
Yes, with the cummerbund, the championship cummerbund. It's not. Nobody calls anyway. I agree. And what's really amazing about that is that Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it started out on. Fox. I'm going to get this wrong. It started out on Fox, right? And then Fox canceled it, and then NBC picked it up.
5.
Yeah, and NBC picked it up. And when a show changes networks, there's always that concern that like, is it going to be as good? Are they going to give it the same attention? I mean, obviously you don't want them to give it the same attention Fox did since they canceled it, I would say prematurely. But there's always that concern that it's going to drop in quality, that it's not going to be the same. But really it didn't. It picked right up where it left off. And I feel like it was just as strong on NBC as it was on Fox and just as enjoyable.
Well, sorry, Marlee, go.
Well, the crazy thing is when it got canceled, like the fans went crazy. Like everyone was like, bring it back, bring Brooklyn Nine-Nine back. And like a whole bunch of celebrities too. Yeah. They got on their social media channels and they were advocating for it. And it was so cool to see like all these other celebrities. Like you're like, they watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And it was, and they brought it back like immediately. It was so great.
It was so weird because Fox canceled it almost to make room for Last Man Standing, which is just not like Last Man Standing. Fine. If you enjoy that show, it's not like a horribly written show, but it's not the same level that Brooklyn Nine-Nine is. You know what I mean? Like it's just, so that was, it was just weird. And it was cool to see the community come and get behind it and get it back on the air because it needs to be there. It's a great show.
One of the biggest proponents of that was Lin-Manuel Miranda. And then he ended up being on the show.
Oh yeah.
The other Erica Startup is correct.
Never a bad episode. I agree 100%.
Another person that really championed bringing back Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who is yet to make an appearance, but I think really should, is Mark Hamill.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Mark Hamill would. What would Mark Hamill be on Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I just want him to be himself on
Joker?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That would be. Oh, you're right. You're right. Like, well, I mean, because Adam Sandler did that. He shows up as himself.
Yeah, and I think if Mark Hamill came on there, and it would just be cool.
Yeah,
I think they'd geek out about it, and it would be fun. And because I think Jake is a closet nerd. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
Like, especially with the whole fantasy book episodes, like, those are fantastic. Yes. And when he cosplays as the elf, and of course Terry as the warrior guy, Terry's amazing. Terry Crews, like, is one of the funniest guys on TV. Like, just amazing talent, just a class act guy, and I love watching him on that show. There's nothing bad you can say about Terry.
Well, the guys wrote the part for Terry Crews.
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason his name is Terry in the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you go through the cast, and I know we've lost a key member of the cast.
Yes.
Gone but not forgotten.
Gina. How could you forget her?
Okay, can we talk about Gina for a minute?
Yes. Of course we can. How can we not talk about Gina for a second at least?
Before we talk about Gina, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes.
If you must.
So I get that this is a cop show.
Correct.
I get that it's funny. It's got Terry Crews. It's got not Mark Hamill.
Andy Samberg.
It's got Andy Samberg.
Uh-huh.
And that's really all that I know. It's funny. So, like, what's the whole thing with it? Like, what's the
spark?
Yes.
Okay, that's a legitimate question.
And then we could talk about Gina, Marlee.
I think
I have things to say about Gina.
Okay, the first thing is I think it is one of the strongest ensemble comedies on television.
Yes.
There are no weak characters.
Absolutely correct.
And whenever somebody gets an arc, it's well deserved, and you don't feel like, oh, well, they're just doing that for the other thing it does is it's so incredibly heartwarming. There are some moments in this show that I mean from weddings to funerals to whatever, that they just make you well up because it's so incredibly well done. And it's because you've laughed with these characters so much that you truly grow to love them. And so when either victory or tragedy strikes, you feel it. But it also tackles some really important issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I could compare it to any show that's kind of come before, and that's always hard because every show tries to be its own thing and you never want to be the next whatever. Right. But if I would compare it to any show that's existed, I would say it's very similar to MASH in a lot of the same ways. It's a very ensemble cast. It relies on that. It does deal with some tougher subjects, but at the same time, it's making you laugh, but you are invested in the characters in the show, and everybody matters. And I think that it's a very similar kind of concept with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I would say that this is more of an ensemble cast than MASH was, especially in the later years where it revolved a lot around Hawkeye. Yeah. But this show, I mean, really, you do care about each one of the characters. And you know, in the first episode, when you meet the characters and you've got the captain coming in who's very straight-laced, very, by the book, and Jake who's very not, you're like, oh, this is going to be really lame and cheesy, and obviously they're going to become best friends and whatever. It doesn't matter. It still works just so perfectly because they play it so well. And when they do start making that connection, they start having that relationship, like, it's earned and it feels right and it feels good. Mm-hmm. Like it's well written, well acted.
The chemistry. If you didn't already mention that, between the actors and the characters, it's very on par, there's, and even if not all of them are like totally friends, like, cause there's a couple of like side characters who kind of pipe in every now and then with some funny things. But like they kind of, they still they work well with the rest of the cast. And it's kind of crazy that they didn't get, talking about Scully and Hitchcock. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They didn't get credited in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they did until the show went over to NBC, right?
They didn't until Gina left.
Which is so weird because they're a main. Like they've been through out the entire series, you know, so it's kind of crazy, but yeah, they're just as part of the team as everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And everybody's the characters are all so loyal to each other. And you mentioned it being heartwarming, Zach, and I agree. Like you're rooting for all of the characters in this show, except for the bad guys that you're not supposed to be rooting for, like the Vulture or, you know,
Vulture. I love the Vulture, dude.
The guy who plays the Vulture, that actor, everything that he's in, you know, if you don't know, he's the Mayhem actor on Allstate, but he was also Liz Lemon's recurring boyfriend in 30 Rock. Yes. And he always called her dummy. Like he's a jerk in everything that he does. And I'm sure in like real life, the actor is probably a really nice guy, but man, he plays that jerky, arrogant character so well. And you just want to punch him in the face. And it's perfect.
The Vulture rocks. No, there's a Dean Winters. That's his name. There's a beautiful revolving door of recurring characters that will pop in and out. I mean, you've got the Pontiac Bandit.
Doug Judy.
Doug Judy.
Love Doug Judy.
Kevin.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Kevin's great.
Captain CJ. All these characters.
Well, and a lot of these people, like you've seen on SNL.
Yeah.
You know, like or just other stuff, you know, they're very well known actors.
Well, even Kira Sedgwick's on it.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she plays Captain Holt's rival.
Oh yeah.
They're so
Madeline Wunsch.
That's right. Oh man. It's hard to talk about this show because I feel like we're just like without spoilers, because I feel like we're just spitballing these inside jokes and they're all going over Zohner's head.
You can do spoiler. I don't care. I'll never watch it. No, I'm just joking. I
What are we doing here, Zohner?
Well, first of all, we're talking about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so it's never wrong to talk about this show, Marlee. So it's fine. Even if he doesn't watch it, though. It's a win for us. You guys,
I do want to watch it because you are so invested here. It's fun to see you guys, and I know my camera keeps cutting out, so you can't see me, but you know, it's fun to see you guys and just the excitement and the joy that you get talking about this. It makes me want to watch.
So if Jake were to speak right now, it would sound like this.
So thanks, Zach. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
It's funny. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of those shows, Zohner, that when you ask somebody, if you've seen it, you know you love it. And you ask somebody, have you ever heard of Brooklyn Nine-Nine? And there's only two answers. Either they say, no, I've never heard of it, or I've never watched it, or whatever. Or they say, I absolutely love that show. I have not ever met anybody who's like, yeah, I watched a couple of episodes and I couldn't stand it. I'm sure they're out there, but I don't want to meet them. So don't ruin my fantasy.
I think you're right on this one.
Like, I feel like everybody that I talk to that's seen it just loves this show. And they like get excited when you start talking, oh, you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and like you're in, like your best friends right away.
So how does it compare to like Parks and Rec or Community or something like that in terms of just draw you in and make you sit down and binge 3 seasons in a day?
So I mean, for one thing, it is the ensemble, and we've harped a lot on the characters and just how well they mesh. And it's all the characters can mesh with each other, similar to Community, where you could have a Jeff Britta adventure or an Abed Shirley adventure. Like all the characters could match up. Very similar with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But I mean, it kind of comes off as a workplace comedy.
Okay.
Which are always, I mean, relatively enjoyable and successful. But then all of a sudden there's a bomb threat and you're like, oh yeah, I'm watching a cop show.
Yeah.
And they actually deal with real things.
I just want to point out Erica's comment here because I think it's in response to Zohner asking how it compares. And I agree with her. I think it's, as far as sitting down and binging, because I do think a lot of the shows that people like to sit down and binge, it does take a season or two to get into it. But I think with this show, you can sit down and it sucks you in from the beginning. And it's super easy to sit down and watch 3 seasons in a day. Like,
that's how Community was for me. I actually did watch 3 seasons in a day or 2 days. it was, yeah. And I was at work too, so I got paid for it. Sweet.
Ooh, nice.
Well,
I hope
and
your boss doesn't watch this show.
I know.
Oh no, he knows.
All right.
well, and the thing is too that like once you've seen all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like to go back and rewatch it is really easy. Like it's easy to just like pick an episode and just like pick right back up and just like enjoy it for, you know, however many episodes you want to watch.
Mhm.
So similar to The Office in that vein, where you could just sit down and, oh, this is the one where Michael burns his foot, or
Oh yeah. And,
okay,
or it's just kind of a fun, like, I mean, because a lot of my friends have seen the show. So if we're all like hanging out together and we just want some like show in the background, we turn on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nice.
It's just nice background. It's funny, you know, we'll tune in to like certain moments of it, but you know, we've all seen it, so we don't really have to totally pay attention. But
Yeah.
it is just one of those like really like lighthearted, for the most part. I mean, yeah, there are some really like they do tackle some really good
Yeah, they do.
serious issues, and social issues as well. But at the same time, like they know what they are. Like they know it's comedy, and so they do try to like, you know, turn it around and make it, you know, like they're really good about that. Like it's very tasteful.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when they do go serious, those moments, because you do care about the characters, like they work really well. It's
They're
not like
so
a
deserved.
yeah, it's not like a Full House moment where like at the end the sad music starts and they're like, oh hug, and this is like whatever. No, like they're very serious moments and they deal with real issues. One of the things that I love about Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the amount of diversity that's on the show. You mentioned The Office.
Huge.
Like The Office, really, you've got like the token minorities on the show, right? You've got Oscar, you've got Stanley, you've got Kelly, but like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the cast is so
And
diverse.
Oscar was a twofer.
Yeah,
He was.
Oscar was. He was. But Captain Holt could be a 2 for a 2 in that case.
He deserves
So,
it. But I mean, but he's not just like, you don't feel like he's token because you're right.
No.
There is so much diversity. I was reading an interview, Melissa Fumero, who plays Amy Santiago, and then Stephanie Beatrice, I think is her last name.
Who plays Rosa?
Yes, who plays Rosa.
By the way, when you see her interviewed outside of character,
it's
like
crazy.
Unbelievable. It's so weird.
Completely different.
So Zohner, Rosa is a very tough as nails, gritty, grimy cop. Get him.
She's badass. She drives a motorcycle. She could like
wears leather.
Yeah. She's
but
cool.
then in real life, she's so happy and perky and pink. It's so funny.
That's awesome.
But both of these women are of Latin descent and are both incredibly talented. But when they met each other in the casting rooms, they were like, we need to style our hair completely different because we don't want to walk in and just be the 2 token Latina ladies, because then they'll only pick one of us.
Yeah.
And they were honestly concerned about that. I mean, this is a show that's going to be on Fox Network. You can't have, I mean, you've got to have a certain ratio of, you guys know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah,
like
in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. It was
again, they canceled Brooklyn Nine-Nine to make room for Last Man Standing, which clearly has the cast that meets the ratios that you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. But you have several Latina cast members. You have several Black cast members. You have several LGBTQIA cast members.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, and it's so beautiful how they all just are together and supportive and love each other.
Yep, and they do that, and then they don't shy away from the tough subjects that come up from having these kind of characters. You know, I think back to the episode, I think it's called Moo where Terry loses his daughter's cow and he's got to go find her, and he gets harassed by a white cop because
Terry is a cop.
He's a cop. And he's in his own neighborhood where he lives, and this cop harasses him, and it deals with this whole issue. And listening to Jake and Amy having to explain this to his daughters, which, by the way, was just a great like watching them try to explain anything uncomfortable to these kids and like getting ready to be parents themselves. And it was just awesome. And then you've got the episode where Rosa comes out to her parents and how nervous she was, she's tough as nails. And she comes out as bisexual to them, and like things like that. They deal with it in a very real way. They don't hit you over the head with it, but they do in a way that you're like, it makes you look at the world differently than how you might see it just because of your own experiences.
It's a sneaky 2x4.
Exactly.
See, I just care if it's good characters, good story, entertaining program. That's
Correct.
all I care about.
All
Check,
three
check.
Speaking of characters, every time I rewatch the show, I feel like I have a different favorite. Right now, Jake and Marlee, who are your favorite character? Who is your favorite character? So the first time I watched it, I was a Jake Peralta. I mean, I still love Jake Peralta, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So freaking good. But this past rewatch I went through, and I loved him before, and I never felt like he was a weak character, but I just found him to be so freaking funny, and I laughed at like every line he had. Captain Holt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Captain Holt, and I think he's probably my favorite character on the show.
I'm very
played by Andre Bauer, just to let you know, Zohner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very similar, Zach, what you were saying. I think Jake will still always be my favorite on the show, but lately I've found Holt like, and especially in these recent seasons, like I feel like they've just like really like, maybe I'm just appreciating it more, or maybe he's always been that funny, but like, I just love his character. And like, I took one of those like BuzzFeed quizzes, like, which character are you? And I got Holt, and I'm like, what? That's really weird, because I'm like nothing like him, but
you are.
Apparently you are.
BuzzFeed.
But BuzzFeed knows all, right? So, but no, and I definitely have a special place in my heart for Rosa, and as well as Terry. And you know, like, it's just, I mean, all of them. How do you pick a favorite?
That's why it is so hard, but I did just want to explore that and see what you guys think. Jakob?
I think for me, I like to think of the characters in pairs almost. Like, I love watching the relationship evolve between Jake and Amy, obviously, but I also love the relationship between Jake and Captain Holt. No, you don't like that one. Sorry.
No, I love them. I said I love those guys.
Oh, I thought you said no.
No. I was like, I love them. Like, they're so cute. I love.
Okay, all right. I was like, sorry.
I love Peraltiago. I love Jacob. I love Jaboyle.
Oh man. And the relationship between Boyle and Jake, like, there's just so many relationships and friendships on the show that you can explore, and that I enjoy quite a bit. Captain Holt is hilarious, though. I mean, the way that the lines are delivered with such a straight deadpan face, and the stuff that he says is so ridiculous, and you can't help but laugh because it's just great. Like, it's just done to perfection. And his relationship on screen with his husband Kevin is like gold. Those two, like, when Jake calls them his two dads, I'm like, yep, that's perfect, because they are just awesome. So even the episode where Jake's trapped in the house with Kevin, that's a great episode.
God,
and their relationship.
Here,
I only have Nicolas Cage movies.
Oh my gosh!
I told you he's got range.
Yeah, he was even nominated for an Oscar for that one. What?
You should show Erica's comment for her favorite character.
Ooh, Erica, yeah. I am curious.
Cheddar is Holt's dog, who is a corgi, and he is so cute, and he makes an appearance throughout the show, and he's adorable.
And he's always involved in the Halloween heist.
Yes.
Always.
Now, my daughter's dog is named Cheddar. I'm going to have to ask her if there was any inspiration.
Copyright infringement. I don't think you can copyright a name like that.
I'm going to have to ask her. She just moved in yesterday with me, so I can just go upstairs and ask her. But yeah, is this inspired by Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
So I've got IMDb pulled up right now, which is how I'm so good at knowing names.
Okay, we do need to call this
Adrian
out.
Pimento.
Pimento. that guy.
They made me try human blood, and now I've got a taste for it. Jason Mantzoukas is so funny.
His relationship with Rosa, like, is just messed up. But you're still like, but they're perfect for each other, and they're just so cute, even though they're psychos together.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just awesome.
Oh yeah.
Love Pimento. I love it when he's hiding out in Boyle's kid's closet. He's like, there's a monster in the closet. Anyway.
Yeah, he's
in Nicolaj's closet.
Nicolaj.
What
am I saying wrong?
I just watched that episode.
So, but they have those running gags like that.
Yes.
It's the attention to detail with the dialogue and the jokes is so spot on. So I'm looking at IMDb. Mark Evan Jackson, also a hilarious actor, plays Kevin. Do you guys know what his last name is?
Mm-mm.
Kevin's last name?
Isn't it Bacon?
No, it's Costner.
Oh yeah, Kevin.
Yeah,
Costner.
That's right.
I knew it was some other famous Kevin.
Yep. So you got Kevin Costner, Doug Judy.
Oh my gosh.
What's Doug Judy's sister's name?
Trudy
Judy.
Yeah, that's right.
So funny. Yeah, all of these. Oh man. Oh, and Bradley Whitford as Jake's dad.
Oh yeah.
So
Bradley Whitford's
I
great.
haven't even slept with that many people. Only like 100. 100? Why is that a lot? It's pretty low by pilot standards.
So I love him in there as Jake's dad. And what I loved even more is the actor who played Amy's dad. And now I can't think of his name, and it's really killing me.
From he was in Star Wars.
Yes. But so I was talking to Zach about this show earlier, The West Wing. So Jake's dad, Jimmy Smits. So
Jimmy Smits is awesome.
Yeah.
So Jake's dad played Josh Lyman in The West Wing, who was the deputy chief of staff for President Bartlett. But in the last season, he runs the campaign for Matt Santos and becomes his chief of staff. Matt Santos is played by Jimmy Smits. So there's the connection there to The West Wing because Josh Lyman and Jimmy and Matt Santos, those are the two actors that play their dads. I nerded out when I saw it. All right. I got excited. My wife thought I was weird.
I'm happy for you.
That's great.
We're all like, that's great, Jake. Good job.
I wish I hadn't brought it up now because you guys.
No, you're good.
Okay. We need to talk about Tim Meadows, who plays Caleb, who was Jake's cellmate.
Yes. This is good because you mentioned your wife was watching Hannibal earlier, so this actually works out really well.
Who is a cannibal?
She's watching Hannibal. That is like the greatest show, but it's so crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe
No,
that.
I thought Brooklyn Nine-Nine was the greatest show, which is why we're here, Marlee.
Marlee, come on, make up your mind. Pick a lane.
Listen. We don't have to conform to the rules of society. We can have multiple greatest shows, all right?
Let us know in the comments if you could have multiple greatest shows.
We have our own reality.
So he is so great in that show. Tim Meadows is one of the most underrated comedic actors out there.
Now, Tim Meadows from SNL, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Who has been on
wasn't
SNL forever. I don't know if he's still on SNL. Is he still trapped on SNL? Okay.
No, he's not.
Because he was on there for like
Kenan
ever.
Thompson took his place.
Okay. Unfortunately,
it's true. Kenan Thompson is like the new resident, never gonna leave.
Oh, he's been on it longer than anyone else.
Really?
Yeah.
Freaking flight. Oh, I almost.
But yeah, Caleb, the cannibal is just.
Isn't he a child cannibal?
Yeah, he's specifically. Well, he eats kids just because they're easier to catch and they're soft.
Yeah.
Eat one kid.
Like,
oh my gosh,
it's terrible.
It's
the other thing that's really cool,
and I love that every time he says something new to Jake, he's like, "Just stop telling me. Like, I don't want to know.
I don't want to know anything about you." This show, this show did something for me that a lot of comedies haven't done, and that is make me think about the importance of diversity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love Parks and Rec. and I love The Office, and I love Community. And you know what? Community is a really diverse cast as well.
Yeah.
But Brooklyn Nine-Nine makes the diversity not only forefront, but just, I mean, I said this word before, but beautiful.
Yeah.
It works so well together to the point that you're like, why isn't everyday life like this? Why isn't there this much love between people who are different all the time?
Yeah.
Because look how freaking funny it would be.
Yeah. Well, and how great they are. Like, they're the best. I don't know. I assume they're the best precinct in the NYPD. I can't imagine anyone being better. Yeah, that's right. I mean, and I love it because if we're watching it and my kids come in, I love that they get that picture of seeing so many different people. But then I want them to leave when the dialogue starts, because it's obviously, I mean, it's not super kid friendly, and I don't necessarily want them repeating some of the lines like title of your sex tape and things like that.
That's the new that's
what she said. Yep.
Yeah. Title of your sex tape.
But I love that they can come in and they can see all of these different people interacting and being a team. Like, somehow they realized the original vision of Star Trek on this sitcom. Like, I don't get it, but they did, like, better than any Star Trek series ever did. So it's awesome. It's incredible. And it does show what we can accomplish when we come together, as opposed to always focusing on being different and not being able to work together because of that. Because Jake Peralta and Captain Holt, totally opposites. They shouldn't get along on any level, but they totally do, and they've got each other's backs.
But again, it's all deserved. Every laugh, every relationship, every gut punch, every beautiful moment in this series is so deserved.
Yes, absolutely.
It's brilliant.
It's not like, none of it's fake. None of it. I mean, it's all fake. It's a fictional. It's not a real series, Zohner. None of these people are. They're all actors.
You mean TV's not real?
This doesn't actually happen in Brooklyn?
I know.
Police officers aren't really this nice in New York.
I don't think police officers are really this nice anywhere sometimes.
All the detectives don't just sit around at the station and goof off all day? What?
Is that not what happens?
No, I'm sure that's how it happens. Actually, I know a guy who used to be a homicide detective, and that is basically what he said happens. Is they kind of, if they don't have cases that they're working on, they kind of just sit around the station and whatever. But anyway, I just really love that the relationships are real. You see the relationship between Jake and Holt grow over the years and become what it is now in the 6th season. And it wasn't that in the beginning. The seeds were there, but they let it grow over time, and they didn't rush anything. It wasn't this false, like, put them together and now they're best friends. Like, no, it didn't work out that way. So it's really, really well done. And I love the diversity piece as well. I don't think we can overstate that, to be honest.
And from what I understand, the showrunners are, I mean, Mike Shore, who's worked on The Office, Parks and Rec, he's done so much, are phenomenally kind and listen to their casts. And this is from what I understand, right? But I mean, we live in this world where it seems like every other day there's a new showrunner, a new executive producer who has a claim against them. And so to see a show that is so genuinely, like, pure and good and with good people behind it is really nice. But I know, like, Melissa Fumero, she's been pregnant several times during the run of the show. They always work with her to make this work. When Terry Crews would come onto the set and go 9-9 to get everyone pumped up, and everyone would go 9-9, they put it in the show. I mean, these showrunners understand that it is the cast. It is the directors and the writers are all extremely talented as well. But it is the cast that brings this to life. And so it's a symbiotic relationship creating these episodes.
Well, and it doesn't matter how good your writers are or how good your director is. If your cast hates each other, it's going to come across, especially over 6 seasons.
And I don't think they do. I really don't think they do.
I would be shocked if they did. I mean, they're all professionals, and I think professional actors can get through working with anybody, but to come to work day in and day out, as excited as they were when the show was brought back after being canceled, I don't think that you're that excited if you hate coming to work and working with the people that you work with. Like,
Exactly.
I think there's definitely like they really enjoy being on the show together and being part of that cast. I would be surprised to find out that they don't, and I would be
that
really sad.
generally makes for better viewing.
Yeah.
So I got to tell y'all, Erica commented here. I don't know if we want to put it up on screen. She said that right there convinced Zohner when you were talking about the
Child cannibals.
That's what got you.
It was a child cannibal.
Good night, everybody.
That was
No.
hilarious.
We should have just started there with.
We should have, but then editing this would be a lot easier. It's like 2 minutes, boom, we're done. But no, I actually pulled up my phone and I was looking to see, okay, where can I stream this?
Mhm.
And I saw it's on Hulu, so I
Hulu.
went ahead and I added it to my stuff, y'all.
Yes.
Yes, 99.
So,
Okay, so can we talk about Gina yet?
Oh
Yes.
yes, Marlee. Of course we can talk about Gina. How can we not talk about Gina?
let's talk about Gina.
So Gina is so just so you know, Zohner. So she's a character on the show. She's basically like I want to say like an admin assistant at the police station. So she's not an officer. She's not a police officer or a detective.
Was this Chelsea Peretti's character?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, I am familiar with her from her stand-up.
Yeah. So I might be in the minority here, but like I have to say, like, it's not that I hate Gina, it's just she's my very least favorite character on the show.
Like
She bugs me. I'll be honest. Like some of the comments she makes is very awkward, like, and a little out there. But there's also really good Gina moments. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, she has some really, really funny moments. But I wasn't sad when she left the show.
First of all, I don't know how in a show where Hitchcock and Scully exist, how anyone other than them can be your least favorite
They are
character.
designed to be your least favorite.
Like and they're interchangeable. Like they're both disgusting and gross, and you're just like, why? Just don't talk because they're just awful.
They're so funny.
But they're like Jean-Ralphio in Parks and Rec. They're supposed to be really, really bad. But I get it. They're the worst. But Gina definitely has her moments. Like there are things about Gina that you don't like, and I think that's by design, right? There are things about her that you're just like, she is just some of the stuff she says just over the top, and it's just not likable. But at the same
she is
time,
the human personification of the 100 emoji.
That's true. It's hard to argue that.
Well, that's from the words of Gina Linetti herself.
Right, and obviously it's got to be legit because she made her own statue to leave behind when she left.
That's right.
But and so I can feel what you're saying there, Marlee. I agree that there are some things that are very, very annoying about Gina, but she had her moments too, and there were some things that worked really well. Like I loved her relationship with Charles because it was just the weirdest, most bizarre thing, especially after their parents got married and
Yes,
all of that, like the whole thing. But she, so I get it. Like she is obnoxious and she is annoying, but I think it works because she's supposed to be, and I think there's still some heart there,
I do have to say, I do like her friendship with Jake Peralta because they like went to high school together, right? So they like
elementary school. Oh wait, no, sorry. No, they went to high school together in the show, but in real life, Andy Samberg and Chelsea Peretti were in elementary school together.
Oh, that's cute. But in show, they go back a long way, so they know each other, and like there's definitely some moments throughout the show where like you see their friendship shine, and she really like they help each other out. Like wasn't it I swear it was those two in the scene, like when they found out that like Peralta was in like a lot of debt or something, and then like Gina kind of helps him, or I don't know, I can't remember the whole thing.
Yeah. No, Gina is the one who helps him out.
Okay, yeah. And she kind of like gets real with him. Like she like all of a sudden like kind of becomes like a serious Gina, and she's like, "Kate, we're gonna help you," kind of thing. Like she's very loyal to her friends, even though she's very much about herself. She's still like she has her friends' backs, and that's definitely a good quality of hers.
Other than letting everybody believe that Jake was the one that told on the football team.
That's right.
That's true.
It's
Jake was the tattler.
the tattler. The fact that we are going back and forth like this, I mean, we could probably do this with a number of shows, but I want to end this podcast so I can go watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's my plan after this, to go watch an episode.
I gotta go
20.
catch a couple as well.
Yeah, like it is so, and there are so many different things I love. Yeah, I agree. Like I mean, Zach wants to in the podcast, so we should just stop the show because Zach's done. And once he's checked out, like, let's be honest.
Sorry, did I just show you
downhill.
my crotch again? That was not supposed to. I'm just trying to close my computer.
Every time, Zach.
That's why I have to wear pants when we podcast.
Yeah, that's true. It's like a rule. Everybody else,
I do
fine,
appreciate
nothing
that.
to worry about. But Zach, no, you got to have pants on because we don't.
You
know
just
what's
never,
gonna
because
happen.
sometimes I'm like, oh god, hold on, let me take care of this like here. Got it. Everything's fine. What?
You know, Zach, I just got to say, I hate seeing you go, but I love watching you leave.
I like this. This is a fun format. We should find another show or movie or something that one of us has not seen and try to convince them to view it.
I agree.
And so, Zohner, you got to watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We'll do a follow-up. You don't have to do the whole series in 2 days, but give it a watch and let's see what you think.
What is Doggo? Is that a show?
Was there a dog in someone's screen?
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Tim Pratt would like us to put subjects in our emails. I don't know how to do that, Zohner, so I'm going to let you and Colin figure that out.
I think we need to talk to Colin about that one.
All right, Tim, we'll work on that.
Colin, make it so. Damn it.
Hey,
you can't say a swear word, you shithead.
But wait, we have some other homework, you guys. We also need to take the character quiz.
Oh, I'm Jake Peralta. Surprise.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I have not taken the character quiz yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if I came out as Boyle, to be honest, because
you're Amy Santiago.
No, I'm not.
Yes, because I promise we're soulmates.
Well, okay, maybe. Well, no, I thought Colin was your soulmate. You can't have more than one soulmate.
He's not here.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, you're the alternate?
He's the alternate. He's my soul mistress.
Listen, I don't like to be the second choice very often, but in that particular instance, I'm all on board for that.
That's a pretty good position right there, being the alternate. So,
all right, we're talking positions and alternates. Let's just move on now. So,
there's also a quiz out there to find out, like, it's like the trifecta. It's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec, and The Office. Like, which character are you, like, from each one? And then it kind of, like, analyzes it. That was a fun quiz as well.
So I haven't seen that one. I've seen the Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and that one I was Jake Peralta and Ben.
Oh. Yeah. On that one, I was actually Amy Santiago. And, crap, what is his name? Tom? From Parks and Rec, Tom
Haverford?
Yeah, I was Tom.
Oh, man.
And then I can't remember who I was from The Office. Maybe was I Kelly? I might have been Kelly, which is so weird, but, like, I don't know. It worked.
Is that a good thing?
Being Kelly Kapoor? Absolutely.
So I'm nervous to take a quiz like that because if I took a Parks and Rec quiz and I came out as anybody except Ron Swanson, I would just cry. But I know I'm not Ron Swanson because he's just amazing, and you can't be Ron Swanson.
I'll have to look for that link.
I love Ron Swanson.
I took it forever ago. Like, it was at least like 2 years
was it like
ago.
BuzzFeed or was it?
I think so. I'll have to find it and send it to everyone I know.
All right.
This is just telling me what episodes I would like. I found the wrong thing. It just told me what episodes of Parks and Rec, The Office, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine I would really like. And it is correct. I do like all three of these episodes, but that's not the quiz I wanted.
Which episodes did it give you?
I just went off the page, so it's probably not going to tell me. But I can tell you the one where Brooklyn Nine-Nine was the one where Sterling Brown guest starred, and it was just Jake, him, and Captain Holt interrogate him. That
episode is genius.
So good.
It is so well done. Okay, Marlee found it. She's gonna put.
I found it. Oh wait, no.
Put it in the comments. Nope, she didn't find it.
No, this is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec, and The Good Place. No, we don't want this.
I do love The Good Place. Another
Good Place
Mike
is pretty
Schumer
good.
Yeah,
production.
that is good.
Do you want me to share this link? It's from BuzzFeed.
No.
No.
You know what I want.
Okay, let me find it.
Wow.
We'll find it later. We'll post it. So
we'll post it on. We'll
make
post
sure
it
you're
on
following
Facebook.
us on social media: Solar Droids, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
We'll send it out.
Actually helping. Oh my gosh! Look at that guy.
We'll send it out.
He's gonna interrupt Jake again.
What?
What are you talking about?
I just keep interrupting you for fun.
Oh. I was just gonna say we'll send it out in an email with no subject.
Send it out in an email.
So anyway,
I think we all need to go watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay, so I just took the BuzzFeed quiz. I am
Yeah.
apparently Amy Santiago.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Okay. The funny thing is, if you're listening to this, you don't know what just happened, but Jake booted me from the chat.
yes, that's true.
And so I was not on screen anymore. But for some reason, I saw it happen, and I thought, "Oh, why did he boot Zohner?" Like I was looking at Zohner and seeing that, I was like,
Nope, it was you because you kept interrupting. So I was like, fine, I can solve that problem. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. We should find another show. We need to talk about who's seen what and who hasn't seen something,
Yes.
and talk about another show like this. It'll be hard to top Brooklyn Nine-Nine just because I do love this show so much. It may be one of my favorite shows. I was going to say that's a stupid thing to say. It's obviously one of my favorite shows. I was going to say it may be my favorite show currently on TV right now because I don't know if there's anything that I'm enjoying more that's current.
I think I'd have to agree with you actually.
So, yeah. But even all time, I think it's up there. So
it's in my top 5 for sure. It's right there with Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ooh, yes.
that's a good one. I think we've all seen it, but we should still talk about it sometime because it's amazing.
Now we've all seen it.
Oh, that was awesome, Zach.
Did you just barely see it, Zohner?
No, you guys did.
No, I watched
saw it
it when
forever.
it aired.
No,
Yeah, same here.
Look how offended.
Jake just saw it.
I just saw it. Yes.
Jake,
Wow.
you just barely saw it, like when it came on
that dude.
Netflix.
So yes.
Doggo.
Doggo.
There was the dog. That Eric
There was the dog. Yes.
Oh, okay. Now we know what Doggo is.
So when Last Airbender
Hey,
originally came out, I was in my 20s and dating, and I just didn't watch it when it came out. But I just watched it recently. It was very good, and we should definitely talk about it.
Okay.
But we'd also love to hear comments and suggestions from you guys on what you'd like to hear from us. We'd love to know what you want us to talk about. Like Zach said, follow us on all the places. You can see, there they are, all the places.
So many places.
So many fun places. And we would love to hear from you in any of those places. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening and watching today. Leaving your comments. Erica, it's always good to have your comments on there.
Thank you,
Kim,
Erica.
Jason,
Yeah, thanks,
Erica,
guys.
you're a
awesome.
racer.
Daniel, everybody that stopped by and left comments. Thank you very much. We always appreciate that. And I was going to say we won't see you at the movies, but that's the other show.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
And on last.